Oh, Supra. Spotting and baiting. The shots come ringing out, so he'll just back on up to the site. Gambit with 3 players towards B. Pit set up on A, which the pit setup kind of guarantees both players a kill if played correctly. And just waiting for that B contact. As soon as nothing comes in, watch for one of these Gambit youngster players to maybe get answering and start clearing car, because now they're out of info. The initial contact is long gone. And the LYNGBY Vikings doing a little bit of a porch and halls pop here. Enters top of the balcony here, Scriv. Flashes, mollies coming over the top. Axile has to swing now. Full blind is Enters. They're not checking for him. They leave him on balcony. He's just going to swing around. He only gets the 1, but he at least brings it to a 3v3 there, Scriv.
A bit more doable with his help. Of course, Nafany still has his 2 flashbangs available as well. See what they can get done here. 1 player on the site, 2 in pit. Going to be hard to break across. twinx has gotten his hands onto a USP as well. Yeah, this is going to be very difficult. Retake situation like this is so hard without utility to, you know, push them out of pit or smoke them off. Flash comes in, doesn't really do an awful lot. Lets them close the gap ever so slightly. Oh, and Cabby missing all the easy shots. Will go down. twinx as well, playing the headshot angle. Someone's got to get on the bomb. They're going to body block him successfully. Wow, Supra, the key frag coming in. Oh, and the defuse just in time. twinx can't get the kill, and that importance of Supra staying alive, finding a frag, cannot be underestimated there. Wow. Gambit youngsters, by the skin of their teeth, are able to get the pistol.
That body blocking coming in clutch. And LYNGBY Vikings with that bomb plant like the GAMBIT script. You'll see a lot of teams just take the free like pistols here, no armor, and just settle right into a full rifle AK by next. But LYNGBY Vikings really liking the surprise approach here. Galil, single AK on Riles. That smoke's not the greatest. Riles gonna be able to peek around it. He'll fire off a couple shots. He'll get the short end of the stick, but he gets that info. But now Gambit youngsters know it's a buy, so look for them to shift a little bit, maybe play a bit more tradable than they were a moment ago. Play a bit tighter. And full trust with Supra to lock down this banana position with that another resmoke, either deep or close. So Gambit youngsters getting close brackets. Even going to take a flash peek, even though they know rifles are in play. No fear for these Gambit youngsters.
Decoy. They changed that, didn't they, recently? Decoys no longer do damage to teammates.
What a small change, but honestly,
yeah.
I mean, sure.
It's like a troll thing. I don't know if you've seen these videos and stuff where people like get people.
Right, because they explode in the end,
damage.
Right?
Yeah. So that's probably why, to be honest. One day decoils will be matter, I believe. Either way, LYNGBY Vikings coming in with the execute here. Smoke's making life very awkward on that A site. Maybe Axile kind of thankful for it. Great nade coming in. Gonna do a bit of damage. Chipping him out. twinx finds the first. And on the edge of the smoke, they're able to take down Axile. Perfect stuff. Really well done with the smokes there. And Gambit youngsters, you can see, caught off by that fact. They're not ready for those smokes to come in, try and fight around them. But the LYNGBY Vikings making it their playground. And just like that, Gambit youngsters going to look to save.
Save is inevitable. They only lose a FAMAS and a MP9, so could have been worse. But they're hanging on to it. I don't believe Axile Enters will force around it, but then again, it's kind of like a double save situation, so yeah, they're probably going to buy. Maybe Nat Shiro can drop a pistol over, someone can get some armor. They'll buy up what they can. LYNGBY Vikings keep 5 alive, Scriv. That matters in the long run. And that's kind of the thing I feel like we touch upon this so much. I'd rather lose pistol and win the next than win pistol and potentially lose the second. It's just always how it goes. I would Love to see teams start buying nothing in pistol rounds. Maybe that'll become meta eventually. To be tested. But for now, we can see who has the superior buy. But the firepower and GAMBIT youngsters, wouldn't be surprised if they can pull something like this out. Or off, I should say. Just waiting for this pause to fly by.
And just like that, it flies by. Incredible. How do you do it?
I got the magic touch. I was gonna say Midas. I was gonna say Midas touch. Mike's kind of weird. It's like not hashtag not sponsored. So.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And the story's about like gold or whatever, right? Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
It's all a lesson on greed, isn't it? It's a big lesson on greed, I think. Because he wishes everything he touches turns to gold, and then he touches his daughter like, yo, this is so amazing, look at this. And then she turns to gold. So there you go, boys. Money isn't everything. But in Counter-Strike, it kind of is. And GAMBIT youngster's going to be feeling the burn, quite literally in some cases. Nafity cannot go anywhere. He's kind of out of the frying pan into the fire. There's flames everywhere, but Supra gets around the smoke, which is really not good from the T side. Over at CT, gets another, drops the bomb. Wow, keeps on going. Maybe a bit too greedy. Is Bird from Sky going to find a couple? They're tagged up here, though. This is definitely doable in the 3v3. Typos holding behind, has to win this, and he can't. Oh, that's going to make such a difference. The flank cut off, and the bomb's still out in no man's land.
This can get weird. Inter's slowly going to start to move up. Can the squad help him here? Definitely going to need some assistance. Shiro, a must-land shot in my opinion, and he won't. He'll fall. Now this quote-unquote site retake without the bomb being planted becomes difficult. But what a nade from Axile. That alleviates some pressure. And it's all on Bird of Sky to ace. 3 kills to his name through the smoke. Isolates another. That's 4. Enters this close. No head armor. Can he get it? Yes, Bird from Sky can. What a ace. That shouldn't have happened, but GAMBIT youngsters just hand it to him, Scriv. This guy's got it.
Certainly one way of getting on the board with 5 kills in a single round. That's what we love to see. GAMBIT youngsters going to be somewhat kicking themselves, though, that they let it come to that after such a messy start, right? The utility was really good from LYNGBY Vikings. The one misplaced smoke, though, makes all the difference. Looked like they had it. It just wasn't the case. It's very costly for LYNGBY Vikings, but of course, being on that T side, they ain't too bothered. They just want to start stringing them together and prove us all wrong here that they're able to take Inferno away from GAMBIT youngsters. And early on, they may well be showing their cards slightly early, I have to say, but they do seem to have an awfully decent amount of utility prepared. Ross was facing the wrong way. Shiro with the team kill. Oopsie daisy. Shiro -1 frags. That could have been very awkward. Rolls was just back turned and 5 people peek round the corner. But Bird from Sky once again, getting a few eco frags in there. Feeling good. Third round in for LYNGBY Vikings, and now it starts to become very important for GAMBIT youngsters to get one back.
Supra has no armor, but an M4. Interesting. There's
Did he drop the ult, maybe?
Yeah, he may have. Surprised they didn't just kind of give him a cheaper weapon. But they give him an M4, no armor. Those nades are going to hurt. Yeah, 22 HP. He's sticking around. He's willing to take that damage, which means he's committed to the first pick. No flash to get him off the angle if they want to come around this. All on just reactions, speed, and being able to get out. I don't think LYNGBY Vikings are necessarily wanting to press that yet. Going to deal with brackets first. As Twinix will worry about the porch side of things. LYNGBY Vikings have fallen off Banana. And again, here's hoping this site setup from GAMBIT can really stand tall this time. Their crossfires have been mediocre. Let's see if they will improve here, Scriv.
One would hope so. Keep things going, keep things competitive. Here we go, though. The burst coming out onto the A bomb site. Super in such a good position to deal with this. 1-for-1 so far. The player in pit stays alive, but the frags are returned quickly. It's a slim lead, but a lead nonetheless. Shiro on 22 HP. No real utility to speak of. Yeah, I think this is a concede from Gambit youngsters. And just like that, a fourth coming in for LYNGBY Vikings.
Another save from Gambit. We know this map's hit or miss for them. Their CT side definitely needs to get them on the board, though. They'll have that, I believe, 4-round loss now built up. And with these two players saving, they still won't be able to buy, but they'll at least be able to get pistols around it. They can invest some sets of armor. They're letting the Vikings, however, build up a little nest egg and making strides towards a really good T-side start as Bird from Sky gets knifed in the back. Still a pretty good start to the half. Maybe not this round, but a pretty good start to this half for the Vikings. I think Gambit need to prioritize getting a full buy with utility and everything, which should come in the next round. And then that's where the change for me has to happen in their play style.
This is what we talked about, though, man. Like, getting reset, it's so bad. It's so bad for your economy, even in the short to mid-term. Like, it's really tough to deal with. So, and yeah, we kind of see it's like, okay, getting the rifles out is sound, but like you say, Inferno especially, I think there is an argument for maybe in the previous just go for a half buy, to be honest with you. Even with like some MP9s, like something a bit more than you would go for. Get a scout, get some deagles, and then you can have a solid buy into this round, rather than a bare bones rifle buy. Oh, we can get an AWP, but it's like, when all this utility comes in, as it is so many rounds here from LYNGBY Vikings, although I'll hold the point because damage is actually coming in from those deagles. I think with those two players falling, the save call will be made. But yeah, ultimately it's like when so many of these rounds are LYNGBY Vikings using great utility to just eliminate some angles or blind up a player at the right time. Gambit youngsters need the counter utility to be able to deal with that, and so far I don't think they've had it in like any of these rounds. They've had very, very little utility to work with. So I hope they realize this fact. Okay, they're actually going to try and go for it here, Keith. I thought they may well have gone to concede the round. Hold on, this gets a bit more interesting. Bird from Sky in a pit, able to get one. The bomb too far ticked, surely, and he's good for a second. Shiro holding on to his AWP, the peak not coming in. There you go, he does manage to take down Bird from Sky. So at the very least, they make it as costly as almost possible, but pretty damn costly for LYNGBY Vikings going into round number 8 here. Or round number 7, rather. So there's that, but they still have plenty of cash. It's now on to Gambit youngsters to win the rounds, right? Economic damage is great, but LYNGBY Vikings are really starting to run away with things.
Yeah, I guess this is just Inferno being a bottom of the pool map for Gambit. Haven't had a full buy like this yet, so this is their prime opportunity to maybe prove me wrong. But looking just relatively uncomfortable in the crossfires and setups, where once we get to Mirage, everyone will be able to see the difference in it. And the difference in comfort will be very apparent for Gambit. Definitely gonna have to turn it on here, though. To me, this is a round they have to pick up or make really close, as they're looking to fight towards Banana. Super able to get the first with some good utility from Shiro, and the 1-2 for them to back on up. Scriv, that is more like it. That's the confidence that I'm used to seeing from the Gambit youngsters, and it will be shown and very apparent at the start of this round.
And this is what I'm saying. I think without the loss of utility and whatnot, they feel a lot more confident in themselves, like you say, right? Able to push through the smoke there. Sure, it's only a 1-for-1, but it's all good. Wow, Shiro hitting some nutty shots. Leave Typos all by himself. 1v4. Got the bomb. Got a molly. But he does need some frags to go with this. I don't think anyone's going to move or try and peek into him. He's going to go for the swing here onto Shiro, trying to bait out the shot. But Shiro, trigger discipline, not going to happen. And a big 4K coming in for him. He's been fairly quiet across the course of this game. And there you have it. He's on the board. Technically should be 5 kills. He got a team kill at one point, but it's all good. Second round for Gambit Youngsters secured. They survive with most of their players as well. So really, 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 really good round for them to start and close this gap.
Yeah, it's kind of exactly what they needed, but they have to get through another bye. Maybe even another 2. That might be pushing it, but another full one is in effect. Back to this top banana skirmish of nade exchange. Who will get the best of it? So far, neither team really taking advantage until Nafany does this. Pushes in through the smoke, finds a gap in it. Towards mini wall, towards half wall. Axile all the while on the flower pot, dancing, trying to get his nade out to live. Good thing he's got his good pal enters, peeking from the pit to trade it out. And all of a sudden, it's Rouse alone, Scriv. Gambit Youngsters now being assertive, trusting their setups, and the trade potential is there on the A site on top of it. That's good to see.
And this is exactly what we're talking about, right? A lot of these other teams at this kind of level would really struggle. But Gambit Youngsters, without even taking a pause, have recovered things back in a massive way. 2 incredibly dominating rounds. And it is great to see. And honestly, I think, for me, with where they're placed, the way they've been playing, how they're dealing with opponents that they don't necessarily recognize, and of course what happens here is you play so much online Counter-Strike, it's hard to prepare massively for individual matchups. But I don't know that we kind of start to remove Gambit Youngsters from this conversation of they're in, you know, this solid like CIS online random from time to time kind of team. It's not really the case anymore, I don't think. I feel like in the past, and they've been together for a while now, in the past 3 months, let's say, probably since playing in Home Sweet Home, and maybe even probably since playing against Complexity and learning a lot about themselves and how the top teams play, I think they have been on an upward trajectory in a massive way. I really do. And keep your eye on them. Keep your eye on them. We say that about an awful lot of teams and whatnot with some good individuals and things, and you take it with a pinch of salt because it's like maybe they're the caliber of their opponents. But Gambit Youngsters certainly are a team that you need to watch. Give it another 6 months, and I think they'll be performing really, really well. If this continues, you never know. There are teams that we've said that about in the past. They might hit a brick wall, but all the same. Fending off the half by here should be easier than it looks. Nafany coming in with 3, does get traded back. They're happy to find that one frag. Super in through the smoke. Gonna wait for the bomb plant as well. Big nade coming in. And Bird from Sky even cancelled. Actually, no, he did get the plant in, sorry. And a second nade comes through to kill him. So, not the best result in the end, but I suppose getting a kill on a bomb plant, they can be happy with that.
Honestly, probably one of the best outcomes outside of stealing the round, obviously, but for what they had and for the position they put themselves in, that was the best outcome for sure. Op will be bought up by Twinx. AK is now plenty. The bomb plant guarantees it, plus the loss bonus kind of already did. But sure, with this op now, he seemingly is settling in and has a chance to go against Rifles and the other op once more. As Twinx looks for the mid pick, nothing to be shown. This time Gambit going to be a little more reserved on their banana utility. Gonna play a bit more site setups. Yep, the typical smoke molly combo. That will land towards top barrels. Nothing new there, just a good control type of nade set. All the while, the one player on A who got aggressive gets punished, so now Nafany has to make a play or feels like he has to, and he just gets sprayed down. So 1-2, LYNGBY Vikings right back, Scriv.
Yeah, first test for a while from GAMBIT youngsters. The B-bomb site is left completely vulnerable. Super is in between. Axile getting an advanced position in, though. Does manage to trade one back. Maybe spotting out the second, not quite sure. Needs to be careful if he tries to cross mid here. He's not going to do so. Oh, and they're headed towards B. Nice molly to keep them at bay. This is pretty good so far. It's just that manpower issue at the moment. Shiro coming in with the flash. Oh, absolutely perfect. Supra's able to get one. He crosses to the site as well. Takes 3 points of damage. Perfect fight being won. Gets another. And now he's left a little lower, but he does not miss. Cabby in the 1v3. Is he going to get it done? He'll find the raid boss of the round, but Shiro is in with the trade. And GAMBIT youngsters pull back the 3v5.
How crazy good is Supra? I mean, not only is his aim really well, like, just look at these shots, really crispy. The support utility from Shiro to Safil take that. I can't speak. That's a hard word. I don't know why it's in my vocabulary. My lips just kind of flap together. Don't work, Scriv. But point will stand. Good utility from Shiro there to really set that up. And again, another flash peek. Enters delays mid-cross on a great flash. And Vikings could be a little worried now with how good the utility usage from GAMBIT has been these last couple rounds.
Yeah, they have really found their groove in the past few rounds. And a round like that as well, you know, clutching it out. In a situation where really you had no right at winning it. Essentially one guy holding down the B-bomb site, you know. They take him down, 5v2, bomb goes down. They probably look to save behind the smokes. Shiro with a great creep forwards. TwinX not hidden away. Able to shoot him in the arm and take him down. Yo, imagine that could be a change. Arming people. That would be annoying. Anyway, Axel coming in with a bit too wide of a swing. Greed getting the better of him. Shiro's reposition, though, looking good. He is on fire in these recent rounds. Enters off angle from him. Spots out the shadows. He's going to start creeping forwards. Gets the shot in the back. Ready for the second? No. Cabby will take him down. So still definitely doable for the T side here. 3 versus 2.
Question is, do they get a fair fight? They do. Rouse. He'll take that any day of the week. Leaving Shiro alone. Supra. They're going to be playing very split. And it appears they're going to try to run into Supra. They actually, look at the damage. Look how much. They run through Supra's molly, and he's alive on 13. Reposition in CT, and they time him out. That is so brutal. That's the last thing that they were expecting was a molly from Supra, Scriv. And for him to spam through them, land onto them, and slow them down with the bullets. That was so well played from Supra. He is really dialed in.
Yeah, mate. One of the names that we didn't talk about as much, of course. He is a really good supportive element, but seems to be picking things up in a massive way. Of course, shout out to Hellcase, our primary case sponsor. Cases you deserve, my guys. Malta V, Malta V15, 2 codes available for you to use. Banner down below as well. Swing coming in from Rawls. We'll find the first, and for the first time in a long time, it feels like Keith LYNGBY Vikings have got themselves kind of a good advantage there, particularly in a round where they need it. This hero AK coming into play. He's left low now, maybe trades it across to someone else, but Shiro taken out. AWP is recovered. But banana control, you could argue, is secured here. Or at least, ooh, maybe they think about it. Hey, a free M4 for Bird from Sky. Easy money. Thanks very much. See you later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, surprised the gun was left there. Gonna be honest. Gives them a freebie. But not a lot of utility for them to really default much longer. Gonna have to pretty much just force themselves into some sort of execute here. You don't really have enough to throw a fake, but that's what they're kind of wanting to do. Throw these nades, bait out some counter utility, let Rawls creep. Now that he dies, they have to go back to A. They have nothing else. And they're going to run right into a perfectly well-held site, I imagine. Exile here in Graveyard. Going to peek up, has to get a multi-frag, and he will. He'll get his 2, but Inters actually lets him down. Puts a lot of pressure on Nafany. And the plant from Bird from Sky and a clutch opportunity. Armor M4 not damaged. Honestly, I wouldn't count him out of this, Scriv.
Okay, peeks into both of them, does a good deal of damage, but doesn't find a frag. Perhaps a frag that he was looking for. Able to reposition. Defuse coming in. He's not going to get there fast enough at all. He's banking on the fact that they don't have a kit, and it's just not the case. Will be a 7th. Can he find any more kills? I think that's what he's after. Not going to be doable for him, but still a decent enough round coming in from LYNGBY Vikings, right? Keeping the economy somewhat modest. There are a couple players who are fairly rich, but also getting a bomb plant for their own economy is really good stuff.
Yeah, this has been a turnaround. It's been better from Gambit. We've seen some setups. We've seen some better utility usage, right? A little more reserved with it. I've been pretty impressed. They've made some really good changes these last few rounds. No free picks for LYNGBY Vikings anymore. And looking at towards brackets. 2NX hopeful, willing, wants a pick here for the squad. Little does he know that it's Shiro posted from the Arch side of things, Scriv. That may be a surprise. They're used to Shiro being floaty, but typically leaning B. But now here he is. And if he gets smoked off, he'll immediately go in towards Moto. Try to tuck in a sight and be effective. Well-timed smoke from him. They may try to peek into it. Yeah, they got to be careful. Now they know where Shiro is. And that may actually be a key factor in them making this decision to go towards Halls. If the op is towards Moto, one smoke, Halls pop, maybe. But they seem very indecisive themselves with 35 seconds remaining, Scriv.
Yeah, this one a lot slower. Working B, I guess. So we'll drawing a rotation in from Shiro. Bomb going to burst out here. I mean, the pit setup seems to be in a fairly good spot to deal with this, but Int is going to go down early. Axile not ready for him. He drops the bomb. 10 seconds left. If he gets another here, this could be huge. Oh, no. 9 seconds. They've got about 5 seconds to plant the bomb. The round is over. Yes. Yep. Maybe? No? I think so. I don't think he got it in time, did he? Ooh, that is so close. That has got to be milliseconds. And it's a 3v2. Oh, goodness, that is actually insane if they're able to get away with this. I mean, there's a kit available. The AWP's going to be tough on the retake. They do catch them very, very quickly, so they've not really had chance to move into really nice post plants. But TwinX with a quick flick, quick spin around. And through that bullet, he will secure the 6th for LYNGBY Vikings. Wow, that is actually insane how close that was.
Down to the wire. I mean, if he just lives like a few, like even just a second longer, would have made all the difference, but not to be. 6 on the T side, pretty good. I'd say that's about average for this map. Gambit have built up a bit of a bank. They'll have a buyback without a doubt in my mind. And with 2 rounds to play, I'd say Gambit probably want one, probably the last 2. Obviously, that's everyone's goal in these situations, but if I'm going to be realistic, it's not necessarily bare minimum for Gambit. For map you don't play, though, you definitely want to walk away 9-6. Shiro, op in hand, still looking to find a fair fight early. He's going to probably peek while this Molly's in front of him, trying to get a good angle, considering that flash missed. And yeah, there it is. Cabby will fall. That's just free for Shiro. He'll back up. It's exactly what they need from him. Yeah,
really good stuff, right? We've seen some of these kind of middle of the half rounds, I guess you could say. They've been very, very dominant from GAMBIT youngsters, so they're hoping to return to that towards the tail end. Directly on the B-bomb site, though, certainly doable here. The molly going to split them up, so Bird from Sky has got to be very careful not to go down here. Oh, and there it is, through the smoke. A little desperate. Roll's going to drop. Bird from Sky mollied out. Perfect stuff. Nafany coming in with a double. And Typos not able to get anything either. 8th round from GAMBIT youngsters. The domination that they tapped into earlier on seems to be back, at least in that round. We'll see whether it continues for the remainder of the first half. Of course, the last round now coming in. But really nicely done. You know, you have little bits and pieces like the player, Bird from Sky, who pushed into water is heard. No one swings for him. No one gets greedy for him. They wait for a rotation. They say, yo, there's a guy in water. Let's get a molly in there. Rather than, I'm in dark. I'm going to swing all the way out and try and fight him, right? They play it nice and safe, nice and passive. And it means they don't throw away any lives needlessly. Really well done.
Utility mid. LYNGBY not really looking to press into brackets too much. As Nafany just waiting for contact, will drop the nade. Not as much as he was hoping. But this is going to be a set piece from LYNGBY. Through and through. Boost up someone on the half wall and get that molly in. Supra going up second orange. Typically a risky place to play. With good utility. Can really, honestly, make that a one and done spot typically. Safe thing about it is they have to go pretty wide. And this allows Nafany to take point of contact and Supra to kind of be the second man. So as long as Nafany gets his 1-for-1 and maybe some damage, then Supra can go undetected. The molly is going to actually miss. They missed an orange molly. They both threw quad mollies. That might come back to bite them. This is Execute's going to come in here, Scriv.
May well, we'll see. There's no utility left for this T side, and the smoke once again is not perfect. Starts to dissipate even. So Supra, Shiro, Nafany, this is their field day. Wow, not a single kill. Only like 30 points of damage. Of course, cursed it, but Typos, okay, a little bit awkward there for Inters. He's not going to find the final round, though, is he? 9-6 in the end, GAMBIT youngsters. I mean, if they'd have tapped in, maybe if this was the second map and they were a bit more used to the way LYNGBY Vikings have been approaching things, it could have been a lot more dominant, as you can see, right, from the initial. And the thing is, it's they win that second round. They demolish the CT economy. But as I kind of mentioned, I think in like round 4, we saw some really nice executes from LYNGBY Vikings, but I feel like they pulled them out a bit too early, you know, showing all their strategies and the better strategies that they had in the playbook kind of early. And I feel like, okay, they got rid of those, and then GAMBIT youngsters were ready for them. They couldn't use them again. So I think it could have been a lot more beneficial for LYNGBY Vikings to just try and approach the rounds a bit more conventionally. And then as soon as they lost, that's when they pull out the deeper strats. You can see, though, the odds working against them as the half goes the way of GAMBIT youngsters. The bookies, once again, were fairly confident coming into this T side for GAMBIT youngsters. Of course, shout out to LootBet, our betting partner. The banner down below. Use code Malta. You get yourself 10 free spins, 100 euros bonus on your deposit. So there you go.
TwinX getting a little risky with it. But that reset button will be smacked. They'll fall back. But they're all still in halls, actually. This is going to get weird. Supra spots one. Now sees TwinX. They're just going to go to the site. They're going to ignore this halls player and deal with him after, right? Someone will worry about Porch. Rest go to site. Shiro, what a shot with that. And he's going to double in. Yeah, why not? It's just the Shiro way, isn't it? One's not enough. He typically finds two. And that was just so well handled from GAMBIT. Spotting halls at perfect timing, Scriv, and realizing, you know what, site's free. And they're spot on. Really good read.
Yeah, really, really good stuff coming in from them. The Vikings, I feel like they needed this pistol. It really did. At the very least, make it competitive, right? This is perhaps one of the worst ways to start the second half. Confidence severely knocked. The dominance from Gambit youngsters that we saw for the vast majority of that second portion of the first half continues here. You kind of start to worry for LYNGBY a little, and we have just seen Gambit youngsters struggle ever so slightly with the economy control. And LYNGBY now are going to get a taste of their own medicine, so to speak, and they're 4 rounds down. Gonna half buy into this one. May well end up 11 rounds down, more likely than not. So really, really stressful, I think. Pressure is on into the early stages of half 2. Let's see whether they're able to perform under it. I like the buy, though. I like the idea. They go all the way down in the end. A lot of utility coming in for the banana control. And denying an area away from Gambit youngsters is pretty decent. It is pretty decent, and Gambit youngsters going to have to be aware of that fact. Ralls as well. Ooh, right on the edge of the smoke. That's very cool. I'm not sure if it's intentional or it's just the way it's worked out, but they can't walk in at all. And Ralls has crept into the corner here. Might get overlooked. He will ever so slightly. Axel kind of half-heartedly checks it. Goes down. Galil coming in. The molly, I think, might just spread to him in the end. Yeah, he has to move forwards, and he will go down. Damned if you do, damned if you don't there, I suppose. But at the very least, a 1-for-1 early on.
Oh! And Goomba stomped. Damage dealt, but just not quite able to pull this one over the line, Scriv. Was looking so promising now. Bird from Sky still has bomb control, and honestly, him with a Galil, I would never count him out. So, all things considered, LYNGBY Vikings, I bet they're, this is going to sound weird, but they're probably considering a force back here just because how close that was. They won't do it, but I know it crossed one of their players' minds without a doubt. But you just buy some utility here, some pistols, you'll have a good buy going into the next, and that is the way safer play, so that is what they'll do.
Yeah, smart stuff rather than risky stuff. And I mean, that is fair. Maybe you can argue if they had the money and whatnot, or the not the money, the rounds to work with, then they would go for the spend, but it's just not the case, right? They don't want to be taking these kind of risks. Nafany just peekaboo coming in with the 4K, making cash money on that Mac 10. He's absolutely loved that round. As they just are caught completely off guard. Maybe talking about the next round, but you know, he finds this kill, then he rushes in, and they're like, oh, we got to fight out here, and oh, but there's a guy behind us, what do we do? Just no real chance at that round for LYNGBY, and that's fair. It's a throwaway. They tried to get aggressive into second mid to, you know, find a cheeky frag or two with the USP. It's not going to happen, though. However, here we go. Very early on into the second half, do or die. It has to be said. They really need to pick this one up, because it is starting to look scary.
Deep nade from Bird from Sky. Gambit youngsters concede banana control, Scriv. It's what they wanted to do. They're playing for the either late banana retake or hoping they can work and facilitate an A fight favorable. And you can kind of just see the difference in defaults from Gambit and LYNGBY Vikings. LYNGBY was very B side force heavy, where Gambit youngsters willing to concede and play more retakey. We'll see which plays off more, because LYNGBY Vikings playing the more typical setup of leaving an opera alone towards banana. That's hard to deal with.
I feel like we talked about risks and whatnot. That's kind of the risk that maybe you have to take into this one. They need to stack the odds against Gambit youngsters, or in theory, but Gambit youngsters savvy to the fact, right? Go for the flash him off. Now the rotation's starting to come in. So the whole one man in banana is nullified, but not completely. Nice shot coming through from Twin X. And this is going to be hard to get through for the 5. I suppose 2 players directly on the site itself. Every missed shot, they close the gap, and the leg comes in, but Supra will find a quick frag. However, Bird from Sky hiding away. Could go huge here. Going to deny the bomb plant, at least for now. Needs to find another. He's trying to get aggressive. Shiro, though, has got a collateral on the back end. What? Okay. Shame we missed that. Madman with the collat. Kill comes in on the site. Meanwhile, Typos the only one left, and this round very quickly unraveled for LYNGBY Vikings. Maybe the lone CT can clutch it out, but easier said than done. Okay, he's crept in massively here. Gonna get the first. Almost a second. He's robbed of it. Wow, okay, gets a second as well. Shiro has to find this, or at the very least play for time. Shiro gets away just about. The luckiest son of a gun in the West. And GAMBIT youngsters will get their 13th.
That round was absurd. Like, we were watching Bird from Skyler from a moment. He wins the first duel, right? Tags up the player, has to plant with 10 seconds. Supra runs at him while his teammate continues to plant. Bird from Sky tags up the planter to like 10 HP, and Supra somehow kills him a moment before that last bullet was able to connect. The absurdity of that round does not escape me, and I bet it doesn't escape you either, Twitch chat. That was crazy. Now LYNGBY Vikings buy up what they can, Scurv. FAMAS's, MP9s, LYNGBY Vikings, they win this. Looking like they might not have to face another full rifle round. And so far, so good.
Also, there was a collat, of course, from Shiro in that round. So, mental. Absolutely mental. Oh, man. Got a suck for LYNGBY Vikings, so it did indeed look like they were in with a solid chance. That flank comes in, Shiro gets one and is traded. It's absolutely fine, but because he gets 2 and remains alive, it sucks. It sucks big time. Lost a player early on as well here, Keith, so really not looking good. And they are going to gamble on the A site by the looks of things. Seems a little strange. Slow swap of rotation between Typos and Rals. I guess Rals not fancying the solo hold with the MP9. That's fair enough. Definitely seems a bit weird. Rotation comes in. There's no action left on B now. It is going to be the A site. And he's setting him up for a quick move back to that A site. I think, yeah, they're really just going to have to gamble on it. They lose this one, their money is in absolute tatters. The game might fall with it, so they really need to stand strong here. 3 players all around the site, 1 in pit, playing anti-flash. The push coming through from all angles. Cabby hiding away, but a great angle on top. Oh my god, Keith and teammates. All the kills come in at the same time. LYNGBY Vikings have just been wrecked. They have actually just been pooed on. I can't say the bad word, but like, goddamn. There's no contest in that round. It's not even funny. I shouldn't laugh. It's just depressing.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you ever seen those funny YouTube challenges where like a pro will challenge like an amateur at something just because they want to show like how big the difference is between like a pro golfer and an amateur golfer?
Yeah, yeah.
We're kind of seeing the
still
comparison.
An enthusiast or whatever.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing the comparison of like an up and coming team, you know, just breaking in, showing the Danish scene that they do have some spunk and they do have some fight, going up against someone who's like an established member of like a top 30 club, right? Like you're seeing like the comparisons and the errors that LYNGBY Viking makes, where the GAMBIT youngsters have kind of just these pocket strats that are like almost one round they can throw it in there and guarantee a round. They have the protocols already hammered in. Plus these GAMBIT youngsters have almost have the same roster for like 2 years. They've been together, I think, since Advanced, which goes back like a year and a bit when they were in it. Like, imagine these guys in Advanced a year and a bit ago to being top 30 now. It's crazy.
It really is. It really is. Like, cannot reiterate enough. Keep your eyes on these guys, and you can see they struggle ever so slightly early on, but they find their groove, and they have not dropped the energy since. Around here or there, but nothing really substantial for LYNGBY Vikings since the initial, like, what was it, like 5 in a row, I think, from them early on their T side, which again comes down to pocket strat, catching us off guard, fair play, wasn't ready for that. But ultimately, it's just not enough. Just not enough at all. And they look so hot. They look so hot right here on the GAMBIT youngsters side of things, and might just be able to clean the game up. As I said in the previous round, the money in tatters. They do have 3 FAMASs. FAMASI? Never really know. It's a French gun. Their language works a bit different, but either way.
The Clarion?
MP9 Nadig. I don't know, mate. I'm just trying to think
of FAMAS. The Clarion in 1.6, I think, used to be called the Clarion. Chat,
okay.
confirm, deny. Chat, confirm, deny. Bird from Sky, yeah, he's getting hard.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Okay, that was almost very awkward.
Flash.
Yeah, that was a really good flash. The timing just not there for him, unfortunately. Okay, here we go. Couple kills coming in. The boost pretty solid. As they will chime in. This crossfire has been pretty unstoppable. All going to be down to Axile. 1v3. He's left on 15 HP as well, so not looking too good. Oh, messy fight, but Ra's able to come out on top. So there you are. LYNGBY Vikings will cling on. They will hold on for a little while longer. Not over just yet.
Okay, not just yet. Steal that one away. It's just a shame that their money is not going to be so great that they can't have a full buy right back in with the guns they've carried. The guns they've grabbed for free will still be lackluster. But it's put definite pressure on the economy of GAMBIT youngsters, and that's what they need to do in the situation, be able to harness some sort of comeback. A first pick would be super awesome, however. It would be super cool as Bird of Sky is going to fight from sandbags. He's going to fall scared. Maybe Rawls can get one, perhaps two. Sure doesn't want to peek. And Rawls, surprised he's sticking around.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll phone the police for that joke, if I'm honest.
It's pretty daddy, huh?
Wonder for crimes against comedy, dude. You gotta watch out.
War crimes in the comedy dissection.
It's all good, man. It's all good. You can have your one a game, I suppose, but any more than that, and it starts to verge on the side of illegal. Joke police. Anyway. GAMBIT youngsters all over the A site right now. Enters with a quick one, of course, onto Rawls. He's not ready for that, and they're so unsure. Are they wrapping B? Are they approaching the A site? Cabby in a great position, though. Whoa, okay, a bit awkward. He eventually finishes them off. That looked a bit dicey. Might just have done enough, however. Typos on the edge of this smoke does so much damage to super it, and the bomb plant going to come in. Actually, it doesn't matter so much, because he's up against two orbs. They don't care about the damage. Okay, Cabby going to swap back as he gets the info in that he's got to be tagged. I mean, this is not over yet. I feel like with them being split, he can isolate these 1v1s. If he does so cleanly, Molly coming in, going to push him out. Manages to win the fight, but he dies to the flames. That is unfortunate. 8th round for LYNGBY Vikings. The one silver lining that GAMBIT youngsters have there, though, is the fact that they take 4 players down. Look at the money, right? Going to be a tough buyback for the CT side, that is for sure.
They just got caught sleeping. That's called tunnel vision. Those players up Moto should be peeking right when the Halls player starts to make up an appearance, right? So that Halls player wasn't able to bait and get full info. Both players Moto just caught taking a nap. The plant does allow GAMBIT youngsters another full buy, Scriv, but it's going to be the last for a little bit if LYNGBY Vikings fit this up. It's also going to be the last round in a while for LYNGBY Vikings with an MP9 and FAMAS if this goes their way, because they should have 2 rounds back-to-back that are a bit more of a breeze. This is the change in the way the game was going that LYNGBY Vikings needed. Perhaps came a little late, but they've kept them off 15, so that's what matters.
Always what matters in a case like this. Oh, Cabby. Oh, Cabby. Ends up being the worst spot. Could have been massive for him. Not going to be the case. Typos as well, only good for 1, and that might just be the 15th coming in. 4v2. I feel like you've got to save. You really don't have a chance. Yeah, and Rals knows it. A little annoyed. Nice to floor. What can you do? But it was only a matter of time before GAMBIT youngsters got the better of the setup. Bird from Sky sticking around to try and get an upgrade, perhaps. Oh, okay. Shiro must have spotted out the legs on the edge of the smoke or something as it started to dissipate. Claps him out. See you later. And Ral's sticking around as well. Might end up going down if he's not careful.
Well, Ral's One on the round, but shouldn't be gifted another. I think he needs to live here. Surprised he's not running all the way to B. Maybe he feels any damage he finds is worth it. But that is 15 guaranteed. Don't die after time rounds. Be careful. He'll hang out. And 15 acquired. LYNGBY Vikings. What's their buy gonna look like? Rawls can drop an M4, sure. But he cheaps out and goes the MP9 route, which honestly, I hate that buy. I think that's just a complete waste of money and a missed opportunity, because you lose this, you lose the round. You already had a molly, which is 800 bucks. You could still get full nades with an M4, if not one flash short. So, bit of a mistake in my eyes. We'll see how it's going to play out. Bird from Skying, while he's trapped in, he's dead, Scriv, and I think the game may just follow.
Yeah, certainly looks that way here, Keith. Swinx coming in with one on the other side of things, but is it going to be enough? Cabby's going to have to stand so strong, and he just gets sprayed down through the smoke. Desperate attempt. Not going to work out. I think that indeed might just be all she wrote. Looking good for the cleanup here, as they will do their best. Try and make things quick. They do indeed. Quick and painless in the end for LYNGBY Vikings. 16-8 though, their map pick, by the way. And then we move into a pretty solid map in the form of Mirage that LYNGBY Vikings don't really play. This is not looking good. I think that is safe to say, Keith.
Yeah, it goes without saying. I don't think we're going to talk about it long. It's just Gambit now moving into their map pick, feeling really comfortable, and you have to be nervous for the LYNGBY Vikings. Gambit were caught flat-footed early, but really made some good changes on that CT side and crossfires and utility usage and being really determined. And then their T side just seemingly safe defaults, opening picks aplenty, and they just kind of ran over that one. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll jump into the Gambit youngsters territory in Mirage. Hang on.
Nice shot. Lock and load. Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. Damn! That was one of the best tickle fights I've been to.
And we're back. Why do they always make me look shorter than you? Let me fix this. There we go. Now we look almost the same. I think Mika's out to make me look really short. I mean, look, I'm 5'11", Mika. I know I'm not quite 6 feet, but come on, just give me that extra little inch. Don't make Scriv taller than me because he's not. Just saying.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think maybe just a bit, but maybe not by like the amount that the cam shows, you know.
Yeah, I do put I'm 6 feet on dating apps though. Obviously, I'm not gonna admit I'm 5'11".
With
I'm
shoes
6
on, right? Like.
Of course, yeah. And
Yeah.
if I stand on my tippy toes long enough, I could be even more than 6 feet. Now, who has to stand on their tippy toes? It's LYNGBY Vikings. Speaking of tippy toes, because they're in a rough spot. Mirage, GAMBIT youngsters pick, right? And they lost their map pick. That's a bad place to be, especially because GAMBIT were really starting to feel themselves. And how does that translate to Mirage? Confidence peaks, probably a lot of 1v1s, a lot of opening picks GAMBIT are going to be looking for, without a doubt.
And look, man, LYNGBY Vikings, the stats are a little bit misleading, I think. For a map like Mirage, a lot of teams are going to be familiar on it. They've definitely had some scrims on this, you know, and whatnot. They definitely have a game plan. They know how to play it pretty well, at least in a pug style. So it's not like it's going to be a complete whitewash. But then 16-8 is a pretty dominant victory these days on your opponent's map pick. And this is the home map. Like, GAMBIT youngsters are absolutely loving Mirage at the moment. Yeah, I think Overpass is maybe a little more up there. This competes with Vertigo as being their second favorite for sure. And they're really solid on it. So, yeah, we're definitely worried. We are definitely worried for LYNGBY Vikings from an impartial standpoint. I mean, if you're a GAMBIT Youngsters fan, you're loving this. You're loving this. If you're a GAMBIT Youngsters player, my God. But there's definitely a chance that LYNGBY Vikings could capitalize on some of that overconfidence, actually, thinking about it. So, still need to rein it in. We did see some cold feet initially on Inferno from GAMBIT youngsters, so maybe this time around LYNGBY Vikings, if they can get the knife as well, could find themselves a bit more stability to work with.
It's going to really make a bit of a difference here. I don't think it's going to be a world of difference, right?
Yeah,
but
true.
I think it will just set a different kind of pace. Nefania, if he gets out of here with all three, I would lose it. Not gonna happen. So yeah, LYNGBY Vikings get to pick what side they want to start on. Honestly, I feel like Mirage is kind of like a preference type of map. It's like, do you really want GAMBIT youngsters to start their map pick swinging on you on the T side, or would you rather be the aggressors and set the pace on the T side? It's definitely something worth considering, and considering they are. I think no matter what, though, GAMBIT, I don't think we've seen them have a terrible performance on Mirage Script. Every time we've watched them, it seems like this is just their consistent map that they put close games on, never really blowouts.
Yeah, definitely true. And like I say, it's a fairly solid, fairly favorite map for them. But of course, does beg the question, where do they kind of go from here? Well, shout out to the boys Loot Bet. I believe we should have the live odds for you guys in just a sec here, and our primary betting sponsor. None of this would be possible without them. So there we are. And there is, of course, the banner down below. Give it a click. Use code Malta. Get yourself some free spins, some free bonus cash as well. Either way, into the hit here, on towards the 8 site. Bird from Sky going to take a wide peek, finds the first head. They've left CT open by choice. Trying to flash in, trying to get aggressive. Really quick call to go for the boost there, but not sold on the fact. It's still a solid advantage here for the CT side going into this retake. So one would assume they're able to find it. Definitely easier said than done, though. They don't have a kit to work with, so time is somewhat against them, and they have indeed lost that CT control. The P250 of Supra looking to do a lot of damage. Not going to happen for him, though. All the kills coming in. Bird from Sky is the distraction, jumping around like a madman, and Shiro is like, yeah, sorry, guys, but this is not happening, is it? He will just look to back away and let them take the round.
I don't think GAMBIT's going to buy back. I know they are the type of team that would like to, but let me throw my case up before you make your decision, GAMBIT. You didn't kill anyone. You didn't kill a single player in LYNGBY Vikings, which means you're not going to have that extra cash. They're still going to go for it, but without killing anyone in LYNGBY Vikings, being there, LYNGBY Vikings buy is going to be great, right? Free head armor upgrade if they didn't take any damage. So, surprise Gambit's going all in for this one, Scriv. Their buy is lacking a little bit, and it's going to be a mid-window peek, and who am I kidding? Why did I not count on Shiro to hit a wallbang headshot with a scout? I guess I just didn't consider that option, and I should have.
Of course you should have. Come on, man. What the heck? Nah, but for real, massive catch coming in. Scary stuff once again. Raul's going to chime in with 2, though, looking to find a bit of normality here. B-bomb site's somewhat vulnerable, and the final 2 players have realized that fact. Gonna fight at short, keeping him away. Inters. Maybe just go for the bomb plant, my dude. He's trying to find a headshot if anyone peeks in. Not gonna happen. Big nade will make life difficult, but they could certainly do some more damage here. I think they can be happy with the bomb plant. There you go. Inter's gonna find the head of Cabby. Reload comes off. 6 HP for Raz, but Twinix on the flank. Gonna make all the difference. Finds the first. Second is trapped. And it's a bit harder. It's actually Typos to take the kill with the nade, but nonetheless, the kills come through, and LYNGBY Vikings will secure the second. Not perfect by any means, but could have been a hell of a lot worse, that is for sure.
They might do it again. Thankfully, there's just armor pistols. Not going all the way in. They definitely considered it, though. So, they'll somewhat concede third to LYNGBY Vikings. But, with these pistols, you never know. If one pick can turn into 2, and then 2 turns into a weapon. Weapon turns into another one. Etc, etc. Especially with LYNGBY Vikings fighting. They are peeking these deagles, Scriv. That is a ballsy move.
Certainly, but it seems to be working, Keith. It's all good, mate. All good in the hood. Inters, not going to find anything either. 3k coming in for Rolls. Nice and clean, that one. A lot easier that time around. Definitely not as dicey. So getting off to a good start here, but the rifles in play. The AWP straight away from Gambit youngsters. To be expected from LYNGBY Vikings. They've got the cash, but as you can see, Shiro costs him everything. So, gonna have to find the shots. They might not be expecting it, though. This is the thing. I'm gonna try and go for the mid-peak by the looks of it. Or at least a fast mid-play coming in from the T side. A lot of pressure on B from the CTs, meanwhile. Perhaps looking to get aggressive over there. Double short stack. I'm gonna try and go for the boost, perhaps? Or are they just moving around? They're just moving around. Cabby into ladder room. So, yeah, really nice counter, I think, to the mid-aggression. Rather than facing it head-on, they put 2 players on short. I think it's very smart. I think it's very smart indeed. Cabby, ooh, timing going to work out for him. And that's the thing. They hear the guy. They know that there's a guy at short because he's nading and whatnot. They're not expecting a guy in ladder room. And the great smoke to allow him to get out. That's a really nice opening exchange from the LYNGBY Vikings, I have to say.
Yeah, that was so comfortable. Shiro, really hoping that was a kill. Anthony will secure it, but this is where it gets weird, right? Bird from Sky is pushed all the way through ramp. They know they've lost jungle. Trying to rotate through CT. Gambit youngsters have to understand that they don't have ramp and CT, and they do. Anthony's going to try to pinch onto Bird of Sky with his teammate from behind. And it's just timing. Yeah, Exile catches him. Beautifully done. Bomb plant secured. But everyone dies, leaving Exile alone. 1v3, just like that, Scriv. That was quick.
That was quick. Quick as you like. Maybe he can find another here, but the round itself is going to be so hard against, what, 3 rifles? I guess now an AWP retrieved by Raz, but all the same, they know where he's at. Molly coming in. Oh, and the wallbang from Raz to finish him off. 4th round for the LYNGBY Vikings. Looking good here on Mirage early on. Once again, Gambit youngsters are a bit shook. I'm not quite prepared coming into it, at least for now. We'll see whether this continues, of course. But a nice couple of rounds so far from the CT side. And another clean victory there as well, right? Surviving with the bare minimum of 3 that we always talk about. So, really good stuff.
ramp aggression. Deep molly from Bird from Sky. Has to be careful. There's a player posted on him. As Gambit Youngsters, 4 players towards A, gonna start making contact. Axile's gonna be kind of like the lurk flank, like through B. Can always call these players back. And that is only if they start to fall, which they are. Twinix just off the mark. I bet the bomb leaves. I bet the bomb goes B. Shiro's just gonna look for the flank and then start running. Both players are spotted towards the A site. He'll go to a free B site. This has to be done with haste. I think they're going to clear Axile. He's going to have to be really unpredictable here. I think in the murder hole in window room itself is great, but if he would have played the bricks or something like that, he would have got hard cleared. So, timing. Nice.
Very nice. Might just secure the round off the back of it as well. Cabby. Oh, wow. Wow. That's the best timing of his life.
Jeez.
He's not going to get timing like that ever again in his career. Jeez. That is mental. That is very, very unfortunate for Axile. The round should have been said and done. Pulls out a flash at the worst possible moment. However, the bomb's so far ticked. Shiro, I think if he just plays this patiently, to be honest. There's a bit of panic coming in. The bomb defuse coming through. Shiro does get it. Does just about get it. That was kind of close. He wasn't sure at all. The wild spray will deny the round away, and Gambit Youngsters hard fought, but they get their first on the board.
Yeah, no reason to really pull out a nade in that situation, because what are you flashing for? You know, he's either going to run by you or come fight. Like, worst nade utility usage we've seen so far. Could have been a lot cleaner, could have kept 2 alive, but Shiro has to clutch up, and he will. Axile to a Galil. And you can just see both teams really struggling for utility, more so the LYNGBY Vikings. That's their only molly used towards A ramp. They're going to try to get aggressive. Super's flash. Will he clear close? Right, he will. Rawl still bets him. Bird from Sky doing his best to try to keep this close. And Twinix, will he fall? Bird from Sky close ramp, out of bullets, and it's all on Shiro. 1v3. Gambit Youngsters run into a brick wall, into a brick house. It's not the first time they've run into a stack scriv, and this time they get punished for it.
Of a rough one, that. Oh, Shiro. Oh, if he had more bullets. Has to swap across to the Glock. Wow, that is another unfortunate situation for Gambit Youngsters. Holy hell. Coming all the way down to the wire in the end. LYNGBY Vikings able to get the bounce back. They'd have just got the bomb plant, you know. Could have bought here and capitalized on a weakened CT buy. But not going to be the case. They go for the half bite. T-side definitely not getting off to the start that they wanted, Keith. They really will need to pick things up here. And soon, it is starting to look a little scary, look a little dire. LYNGBY Vikings certainly know how to play their CT side Mirage, as to be expected, right? Every team's got a Mirage. And they're doing so cleanly most of the time. The last one, not a good case of that. Quick stuff onto the B-bomb site. Easy cleanup here. Not even the bomb plant by the looks of things. It's a great little execute from Gambit Youngsters. They just don't have the weaponry to fight back. And a 6th. That is what you want from LYNGBY Vikings. Not a single player going down. Now you start to worry ever so slightly. Gambit Youngsters, this next buy round has a lot of pressure behind it.
Yeah, they're going to have to start to get some W's up on that board. Definitely going to need at least 5 T rounds, 4 minimum. It's got to start clicking eventually. I know they're slow starters, but it's getting a little too late. And pretty safe from Gambit, honestly. Mid control, I don't mind. LYNGBY Vikings been playing very A-ramp heavy because Gambit Youngsters do like defaulting heavy towards A. And this change from Gambit is more of a mid-centric catwalk type of default. They've hard read that LYNGBY Vikings will be doing the same thing. They've taken what's given to them in the form of mid control. Axile. Will he check balcony? Bet he won't. Overlooked. Twinix doubles in. No, that's B-side already conceded. LYNGBY Vikings, their cash is there. And Nafany, his life just got absolutely ruined. He just got caught for like felony tax evasion, and that was the that was absurd how quick he got turned on.
Just got absolutely right.
I was gonna make an IRS reference, but like it doesn't matter. It's destroyed. No matter what reference you want to use, wrecked.
Not quite sure. Ours is HMRC. That's obviously because we're British and we have to do things differently. Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, like, you know, of course.
Queen needs her cake and she wants to eat it too.
Well, you know.
What if the queen is made of cake?
I'm not gonna. I don't want to annoy the royalists. You know what I mean? Not even gonna make the joke. Not even gonna go there. But regardless, he's been wrecked. That's what we're saying. You know, those tax collectors are somewhat efficient, if nothing else. Mm-hmm. Although apparently not very good at writing laws. And that's as far as we'll go on that one.
Yeah.
But all the same, looking good. LYNGBY Vikings. I'm letting the ball slip ever so slightly, but the thing is, Gambit youngsters, right? It's a very steep uphill battle that they've got going on here. They need to keep this going for quite a while. In all honesty. Oh, okay, that's maybe the way to start things. The flash not sound either. Inter's able to get 2 from Palace. That's a very broken Palace push coming in, and immediately, the B side just looked to save. Will be a third for Gambit youngsters. No skin off their back at all.
Bomb has been planted.
Whew. Save attempt. Gambit youngsters don't have enough cash to really justify a hunt. They are going to get their third on the board, though, Scriv. That's big. And with LYNGBY Vikings saving double M4 op, it'll be a buy as Rawls and Bird from Sky. Funny enough, 2 players who have fallen have cash for the rebuy. My question is, are LYNGBY Vikings going to continue this A-side aggression, or are they going to settle into something more standard, like mid-control fighting? Does Twinix have the confidence to go face Shiro towards top mid? Is he going to play around connector, or are they going to continue to fight A ramp, fight Palace? It's worked. The last couple rounds, it's been immediately countered. So I would say the tables have turned, and now it's on the LYNGBY Vikings to change a little bit.
Yeah, and this is something they weren't able to do on Inferno. The adaptation, the answer back never really came in. They got a couple, but once Gambit youngsters were able to get their foot in the door and get that confidence back, it just seemed like there was nothing LYNGBY Vikings could do. So, see whether that continues to be the case. Gonna try and fight their way back in, of course. Oh my goodness, they're just faster than you boys. Twin X caught off guard, not even blind, but he's just not ready for it. 5-on-4. B bomb site is massively under threat, and they can't really rotate across. They've got players in window. They sort of know this fact, unless Typos goes massive. I suppose the thing is as well, it's only one player that's revealed himself, so it's like they're not even rotating across. They were banking on the A hold. Inters takes the head of Typos clean off. And again, another save situation. So they should be able to buy into the next round, sure. But they've started losing them fairly consistently and fairly decisively. The one issue here is like, yes, you get to save, but look at how much money they are earning on the other side of the equation. You have to fight back somewhat. And LYNGBY Vikings are just not able to do so at the minute. They are getting bested, and that answer back that we're talking about needs to come in.
Bomb has been planted.
Oh. Gabby does get one, Scriv, but they're going to have to save, obviously, once more. They save these 3 rifles. It'll be another buyback, but Gambit youngsters getting closer to that needed 5. Honestly, on pace for 6 at this point, round-wise, Scriv, and that's a little worrying if you're a LYNGBY Vikings fan. Gambit youngsters starting to bring it back. They're honestly late first and second half kind of players. They have seemingly back-to-back had awful starts to a half, but then they've recovered really nicely. Maybe it is just the Gambit youngsters' way, but I'm all for it. LYNGBY Vikings going to be buying. Op gets dropped and or purchased. Or sorry, did that get saved? Did I miss that getting saved? Maybe I did. Didn't think they got it, but there we go. Got carried over. And here we go. Big round for LYNGBY Vikings. Op rifles. Again, lacking some utility, but it's enough to get the job done. Scriv. And it's Shiro with the opening pick again. It seems like the trend of Gambit starting to control early round is back in full swing.
It literally seems like a repeat of Inferno, doesn't it, to be honest? Like, bit shaky to get the foot off the ground, but ultimately able to get the better of LYNGBY Vikings in the end of the first map. Can LYNGBY Vikings kind of rewrite destiny, as it were? That's the big question that we have. See here another slow start, Keith, to this round. Not an awful lot going down, and Riles has capitalized, able to push in behind. Oh, just about to spot 3 out in middle as well. Is he going to play it patiently? No, he takes his one. He gets away. That flank on the back end is going to be a real thorn in the side of the T's side. Cabby's also chimed in. YNG fell just about to Shiro. Bird from Sky chiming in. Looking good here for the LYNGBY Vikings. That one push from Riles has thrown the T's completely for a loop. Oh, Nafany caught just in the nick of time. Inters will be the only one left, and a 1v4 required. He's being watched. Cabby surely wins this fight. Does indeed. Inters knew he was up there, but not quite where. And a very clean round from LYNGBY Vikings. They finally do put a stop to the tear with a fairly decisive round.
Okay. We're getting some cool crossovers, some cool rounds coming into play. 7 for LYNGBY, honestly. Better than what I would have first thought. The issue is they need as many rounds on CT before they jump over that T side, because this is where Gambit will love CT side aggression. Shiro really, to me, settles in nicely on the CT side. And the B anchor from Gambit is nuts. Axile charging in, typos. Here's the player jump out. Will he get cleared from the players in apps? No. Given a headshot, immediate free frag from Inters. And Cabby on this quick flank. I don't think this will be expected, but he's alone. That's the unfortunate part. The rest of the players from Gambit very far away from this site, but Cabby will just take the one, grab the op, and bail out. 5 secured from Gambit, Scriv. And honestly, I'm wondering, gonna do some quick mental math. Yeah, it's gonna be another buy from LYNGBY. These guys have been buying criminals. The saves they've been having, the buys they've been getting. They're giving themselves chances. Just Gambit slipping through the cracks at times.
Really could have been a different story, though, if they weren't able to save and buy and save and buy, in all fairness. Cabby taking a few names as well. It's not like they have the most amount of cash on the Gambit youngsters side currently. So that's cool. Happy with that. Oh, almost gets orped out there. I think the shot might even have been missed. Not sure if it was a quick attempt. Regardless, Gambit youngsters, I think, going to be happy with the back and forth nature that's coming in towards the end. Again, it took them a long time to get around on the board. So they're trying to make the best of a bad situation. And at the moment, they're making a very good job of it. Really finding some solid rounds. This is a pretty important one for LYNGBY Vikings. They are indeed able to get the buyout, like you say, but it is very, very costly. Deep into the pockets for it. Riles in the smoke. He's been such a thorn in the side. Oh, and Nafany spots him out. Too smart for you. Brain too big. Cabby good for one, but he's traded back. Nafany having a hell of a round. Will jump into window and continues to dish out the damage. 4 on 3. They've lost control of the A bomb site. They just don't know it yet. Just wait for Nafany here, guys. That's all they've got to do. Draw the attention away from him. He will spin into CT. Spots out one. YNG is dead. Check that box. Oh, gonna go for the knife as well. That is so cheeky. I thought he was gonna wait, see if he could spot out another, but nope. He wanted that 1500. Third kill coming in for him, 4v2, and as we've said, with the cash not there for LYNGBY, they will look to save once again. So a 6th round for GAMBIT youngsters might even have a chance at gaining the lead into the second half.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I feel like GAMBIT are kind of like a coal train, you know? Starts off slow, takes a while to get the engines really primed and heated up. You need to chuck in a couple more shovel full of coal, but once it gets going, it kind of maintains a speed and just keeps chugging along. GAMBIT youngsters take a while to get rolling. That's all. They've hit 6. They've hunted down the guns from LYNGBY Vikings. Typo's the only man to save going into round 14. And I think they'll just half buy around it, play for 15, give up the 7-7 scoreline. GAMBIT, I do feel like with it being their map pick, although this map at this level is to me a little T-sided, the factor to me that makes it not T-sided for LYNGBY Vikings is the fact that it's GAMBIT youngsters pick, right? That's the only thing that's really keeping me back from feeling that. And Shiro, we've always seen him be really nuts in towards jungle with his op. So a lot of talking points for GAMBIT. Maybe LYNGBY Vikings, if they pick up this one of these last two, will give themselves a fair look. Not counting them out, but I am obviously favoring the overdog, Scriv.
The overdog. My guys. No kills coming in as yet, Keith. Another slow kind of round. I guess GAMBIT youngsters a little unsure what the approach is from LYNGBY Vikings. Indeed, they have had their economy under wraps most of the half, able to buy a lot more than you would expect. Ooh, and a quick movement across to the A-bomb site. Now a 4-man stack. With the AWP, with the M4, this is going to be deadly. No smokes at all coming in from GAMBIT youngsters. They lose the first man. Molly goes deep. They need a Molly in at Ninja, and they do have one available in the hands of Shiro. Will it make it there, though? That is the real question. Inter's going to peek out, finds the first. The trade coming in, though. The information is here. They're working well with it, and they are able to keep them at bay. Rals is in on the rotation. Brings it down to a 2v2. And he's going to go for a very quick reposition. Cabby still alive with the AWP, been doing so much work from CT. All going to be onto Shiro. Goes for the fake plant. He's only got 15 seconds to work with. He's hoping someone peeks him. And they will, but from the angle that he isn't looking at. LYNGBY Vikings steal away the 8th with the stack play. GAMBIT youngsters, I don't know, man. Feel like approaching that A-bomb site with no utility at all is very risky.
Risky indeed. Ooh, also, shout out to our partner Hellcase, Malta V 15. They are the boys, tons of giveaways. The best case opening site out there. Awesome for them to be partners with us here. Check them out, check Twitch chat, look below, click the banner, and become one of the boys. GAMBIT, opening pick here in round 15. Scriv staring down the barrel of that 7 indefinitely. But this positioning from LYNGBY Vikings screams, we want to fight for this one. But losing that B player means GAMBIT youngsters might not need to go for that mid play that they wanted to, Scriv. They were going to walk right into that setup that LYNGBY Vikings had, but instead, they want to take a little bit of a different approach now.
Yeah. Bit safer, I guess. Looking pretty good while doing it as well, Axile. Kind of seals the deal, I think, there. 5v2, they're going to lose control of the A-bomb site. Molly down. Ooh, tag lands. Twin X can't return it. Yeah, I feel like this is where they would like to save, but they just can't because it's the final round. All going to be on to Cabby. 1v5. Ace required. Finds out of the first. They kind of line up for him, but he's not able to get it done. 7th round. GAMBIT youngsters will bring it as close as damn it at the turn of the half. Still, though, LYNGBY Vikings, same amount of rounds here that they managed to pick up on Inferno. So Mirage is much improved. However, as we both alluded to, moving into the second half, I think it becomes so much harder. The pistol will give them a great deal of room to work with. Certainly going to need it. Bit of luck as well, perhaps. And as you can see, our betting partner Lubet still favoring Gambit Youngsters, about the same as they were going into Inferno. So it seems everything has remained consistent here from Gambit Youngsters in terms of the expectations.
Oh, here we go. Opening pick for Rowls. Yeah, they do a bit of a Palace pop. Get CT control. And Anthony does have the flashes for this retake. They're going to have to be on point, though. That is for sure. Bird from Sky. Coming in from Catwalk. The late flank to maybe catch Axile off guard, and he will. Not going to pull the trigger, but his teammates could use some help here in CT. Axile, keep in mind, still getting flanked from Bird from Sky. He's gonna miss his opening duel and peeked and dropped. They're on the bomb and they are all dead. Gambit Youngsters, what a retake. The flashes, the pacing, the shots, all of it was on point, Scriv.
That is filth. That is so nasty. So nasty. If you're Lyngby Vikings, you've really got to be disappointed with that. Started off so well, but ends up not happening. Rough stuff. They're going to go for the force buy into this one. It's pretty decent as far as force buys go. 4 Galils and a Deagle. Tiny bit of utility to work with. Gambit Youngster, I think, going to be expecting this. Super up close with the MP9. Just gets off the ladder at the right time. Double for him. And just like that, the round goes in favor of Gambit Youngsters, at least for now. Smokes are a little strange. Nafferty going to get caught, maybe expecting a jungle smoke, and is caught in transition. So suddenly back into a 3 versus 3, but no real solid control coming in as yet. As they get the bomb down, they can move towards connector. That's the area that they know is kind of clear. Actually, it looks like maybe the jungle smoke failed. I don't know, I'm confused. Either way, retake is on. Axile drops. It's heard by Rolls, and he is picked off. Now we're into the 2-on-3. A kit available, sure. Smoke for the bomb, I guess. Oh, quick stuff coming in from TwinX, and Shiro left in the unenviable position. And he does not fancy his chances. Going to look to back away. It will be Lyngby Vikings taking that second round, and we have seen how tough this can be to deal with from an economic standpoint. Gambit Youngsters maybe making some poor decisions on Inferno. It's what gave Lyngby Vikings such a strong lead initially. Will they repeat themselves here? I fear that they might, Keith. I don't know, man. Although they're extremely rare, maybe you have to kind of... Oh, take it... Okay, never mind. Never mind. I was going to say maybe take like a super safe like half buy and then eco the next. Get the strongest buy possible, but they want to keep the pressure on. How do you feel about this? I don't know if I'm a massive fan.
This buy from Gambit?
Yeah.
I mean, they could have bought next, but it would have been weird. I don't like it purely based on the fact that you just have no consistency now. You're giving up a buy in the future for this buy in here, right? I mean, it's easier to talk down on it now, but they never really had a chance in this round. With no utility, these guns on Mirage, like, it's not good. I think they got ahead of themselves. Should have just taken a save. But at the same time, they didn't want the Vikings money to explode. But either way, they're going to now. So still a chance if they get good positioning and timing. But it's so hard for Inters here. Yeah, that's just round.
Definitely a weird one. I feel like it like pigeonholes you into only a few approaches to the round as well. Yeah. Just not a massive fan. Just not a massive fan. I think they should have half bought around the M4 and then maybe look to buy into the next. Maybe even ecoed the next. This is just weird. Supra! Okay, whoa! Hold your horses. If he'd have found all three, that would have been mental. He just guns it in. So damage being done at the very least now with that. Axile left in the 1v2. No kit available. No real information to work with. He's feeling confident, though. He'll keep on pushing forwards, just hiding away at the moment, hoping someone maybe moves towards him. It's just not going to be the case. Neither of these players are even going to give their positions away with any kind of utility or pre-fires or whatever. Axel's just hanging on the extremities of the A-bomb site, looking for a cheeky frag. Nothing will come, though. Takes the AK and going to get away, so... Okay, there you go. There's your cheeky frag. Nice stuff, I guess. In that sense, making it as costly as possible for LYNGBY Vikings, but nothing seems to be going the way of GAMBIT youngsters. We were not a fan of that buy. The crazy hero play of Super is the only difference. Would have been a lot more dominating if he hadn't have found that. But yeah, I don't know, Keith. I'm just... again, we're seeing another force coming in. This is what happens. You lose that second round, and you really have to be smart about the decisions you make.
Yeah, I think GAMBIT are being... I'm just going to say it, Scriv. They're being dumb. They are just being complete egomaniacs. Like, you've tossed away not one, but now maybe even 2 future buy rounds. For what? You win this, it's not going to change my opinion. I think these buys are just not good. They're not good. Yes, you have a player popping off who's yet to take damage, who now has bomb and an AK. Cool, great. Doesn't justify the buy for me, Scriv. I think they're getting really lucky. I think Nafany's just having a bit of a round. And he now is going to be forced off the bomb. But yeah, I think they're being a little egotistical and a little too committed to the chase.
Yeah, it's like in for a penny, in for a pound, though, man. Like, they go for the first buy, you just have to send it and hope for the best. And this might be the best they get. They might get a bit more than this. They might even win the round. But the thing is, I think what we're both kind of getting at is, like, GAMBIT youngsters are not going to have won the round here. LYNGBY Vikings will have lost it, is kind of the case. Nafany should have been dealt with after the first, to be frank. Do have to commend the utility damage, though. And Nafany ready and waiting. He sees the ace. They're so low. Inter surely finds this if he just waits patiently. Gonna move in, finds the first. Second comes nice and easy. The third will fall. And LYNGBY Vikings have definitely fluffed that one there. Nafany not being dealt with is a huge blunder. And it's sort of dangerous. Look, the force buy works out, but it works out because of individual prowess. Nafany could have done that with a deagle. It just seemed like LYNGBY Vikings were not prepared at all for him to be there and not set up properly to trade. And then they send the bomb in too aggressively. Like, very, very big mistakes. But the other side of the same coin is the fact that they managed to pull it off. A risky force buy after force buy eventually works. Not completely down in the dumps in terms of the economy in that last round and everything. So there is that, right? It does work. That's cool because you get a 9th round. But the fact that you've kept the pressure on does mean that LYNGBY Vikings have a terrible buy now of their own. So very, very messy finances early into the second half for both teams. You do kind of have to look internally because it's sort of dangerous as well. It's like those rounds work 1 in 10, which is not quite enough. Either way, rushing straight in here, Keith. No time to talk it over, really. It's a dry execute coming through from the LYNGBY Vikings. An advantage so far for GAMBIT youngsters. Shiro creeping around the smoke and Supra with the double. Able to secure the 10th. And the LYNGBY Vikings, this is why it's dangerous. GAMBIT youngsters are a great team at going for those force buys, I guess, because they have so much individual power. LYNGBY Vikings, not as much. They need to make the kills as easy as possible rather than making them harder for themselves, and that is a perfect example. They get rinsed, and now they have no cash, and it's 10-10. GAMBIT youngsters look set to take the lead. This is a really, really, really dire situation for the LYNGBY Vikings. They're already a map down, by the way, if you're just joining us, so yeah, screwing themselves a bit, I think.
Well, GAMBIT looking to take the lead here, Scriv. Nothing for LYNGBY Vikings to really speak about. Shiro posted top mid, run boost across. It could leave Nafany in some trouble. Shiro, you gotta connect a shot eventually. That's 3 missed. Finally will connect on 1. That player's going to be mollied out and dealt with. Just leaves one remaining, and they've left the A site. The anchor has left the site, and that is what Supra deserves. That is punishment, Supra. An A anchor leaving the A site with no bomb spotted mid just to hunt ecos. Karma.
Yeah, starting to get a bit giddy, aren't they, in some of these situations, I think is a nice way of putting it. They feel they have this one in the bag. They just kind of need to relax, because eventually it might come back to bite them. Maybe there's not enough of the game left to come back to bite them, but we'll see. We'll see. Buy going to be coming in from LYNGBY Vikings. They do have an AWP to play with, full utility on the rest of the players. Definitely no complaints in terms of the buy. Oh, aggression in the middle coming in from both teams as well. Going to be a mess early on. Oh, Shiro. Great flick onto Bird from Sky. Wow. 3 kills in about as many seconds from GAMBIT youngsters. LYNGBY Vikings have been shut down. And once again, the mojo, the confidence has been rediscovered from GAMBIT youngsters. And it pays off. Yeah, it's just unstoppable. They're going to lose a single player here? I'm not sure. Cabby's on 26 HP. Surely only gets one. Flash is coming over the top. He's trying his best to fight out. Not going to happen. And GAMBIT youngsters, what, 24 damage taken? That's it. An incredibly clean round.
Yeah, this is getting GAMBIT youngsters territory now. Again, it takes them a while and a half to settle in for some reason. But they're definitely dialed in now, Scriv. Not wanting to allow this to go to a third map of Dust 2 if memory serves. LYNGBY Vikings hitting that loss bonus. One player going for a hero Galil. That's kind of a... not really confident in that, but hey. Couple Mac 10, some pistols around it. Supra has to be careful. Yeah, that, again, like, there's no reason for Supra to be doing that against the type of buy the LYNGBY Vikings have. Nothing really justifies that, unfortunately. Exile will clear middle. Shiro gonna be tested. Underpass pushing coming now. Good timing for Napany to come back. Only the one. This is where Exile comes into play. Right before Rawls can get that AK out, it gets shut down. Shiro just has to stop them from crossing into sight. Flash over to allow Exile to peek. Spray transfer's just off. Twinix alone, and Shiro's got it. Again, expensive. But GAMBIT youngsters have so much cash, they're willing to trade bodies for rounds. At this point, doesn't phase them. Buyback will come in from LYNGBY Vikings. Typo shoots himself in the foot. Couldn't really tell you why. Like, that's an AK full utility now. Instead, he has to take a Mac 10. Like, maybe just a lack of experience? Poor money management? Misbuy? Any of those?
I think they're, like, just too deep into this wild buying after buying, you know, just seems a bit crazy to me. And they're not reining it in. Bird from Sky gonna get tagged on. Not a great start from him. Ooh, the push up coming in. Bird from Sky, though, patience gonna pay off. Nothing, he gets caught. His silence will be his downfall. Nade, though, surely finds the frag. It does indeed. But YNG has picked up Shiro. So we still have an advantage here for LYNGBY Vikings. A crazy start. A crazy fast start, I should say. Oh, on the edge of the smoke, Super going to go down. So it looks like LYNGBY Vikings might be able to get one back here. They do have the money available. Still debatable whether you actually go for this if you're GAMBIT youngsters, to be honest. No info. Split across the map. The odds are just too heavily stacked against you, so I think a save is a fair shout.
Yeah, I think exits is kind of just what's on Inter's mind here. Trying to just find any kill that he can. Exile kind of the same, but yeah, 11 for LYNGBY Vikings. They're keeping it really close. They're keeping it very honest. GAMBIT, again, kind of still fighting and playing with an ego. We haven't seen those strong CT setups. It's been individuals, right? Why are you pushing top mid there by yourself with no trade potential? Mistake one. Shiro gets out peaked. Sure, can't really consider it a mistake, but it is, again, another 1v1 that goes LYNGBY Vikings' way. That's always the downfall for me with GAMBIT, is when they play out of their system They seemingly just fall apart, which is weird to me. For such a good structured team, at times they can just kind of look like the opposite, like the following round. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, it definitely, again, has to be that discipline kind of thing. And I know that having, you know, chatted to Finn in the past, he says sometimes they get ahead of themselves and they're all really good mates, so it's like if one of them starts doing something, they'll all follow suit. And who knows, in games like this, maybe they kind of limit test, you know? They're like, yeah, let's just run into them and see if we can just kill them over and over. Shiro, wrong target, but the timing works out perfectly for him there. Great flashes coming over the top here as well. GAMBIT youngsters seem to be back to their old ways, but there it is, creeping in ever so slightly. Super going for the wide swing, maybe not necessarily needed. Nafany here's the scope, trying to get the frag in, trying to get some damage through the smoke. Not going to happen for him, but it's still a man advantage for GAMBIT youngsters. And a solid one at that. Looking very good here. Trades coming in, all going to be onto TwinX. Onto the pistols, he knows his player is dinked. Let's get that frag. 2 more to find. Ooh. Close. But no cigar. It will be the 14th for GAMBIT youngsters. Straight back on the board.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Ooh. Right back, indeed. Full buy is on the cards for the LYNGBY Vikings. No doubt there. Can TwinX find another opening pick? He has 21 kills, Cavi 22. But GAMBIT are still 2 away from closing it regardless of those kill counts. More of a B-heavy default. 1 player A, 1 holding top mid push. Shiro, great timing on that. He's even going to stick around to see if anyone chases. Typos, you can see how worried he is as he's backpedaling up. And that's kind of the power of Shiro. Mentioned, off CT side, deadly. From A to window to jungle to B, he goes wherever he pleases. And that's not going to stop. Opening pick now for GAMBIT Scriv. Could put LYNGBY Vikings in a tough spot.
Need to recover this one back if you're the T side. And it's such a bad time to lose a frag as well. So early on, you don't even trade information. He's able to fully escape, so you don't know where he's gone. Whether he's still around. Great timing from Axile, of course. Another frag coming in. It looks like the recovery of this round might not be doable. 40 seconds. Axile forced into an awkward spot, but they have mid control with few players. They've got to move into a site, try and do it together, and it's going to be so hard. No one peeking into TwinX. That's what they're hoping for. Someone gets overzealous on this GAMBIT youngster side, but they realize how doable, how winnable this is. Another kill comes in. Axile ready and waiting. Might not even be required. The player does manage to actually get past him. That's a little funny, but it's all good. Shiro steals the kill. What a nasty man. But a flawless one coming in for GAMBIT youngsters. 4 match points to play with here as well, as they look to make quick work of LYNGBY Vikings in the 2-0, and the bye is not going to be ideal. How many times have we said that across the course of this map? Must have been at least 20. Or something, you know, a synonym, words are hard, synonym of ideal buys. But yeah, LYNGBY Vikings, the road to recovery begins now. They've got 1 player without utility. They've got a Galil. Going to be hard. It's going to be so hard.
Yeah, without a doubt. This is going to be one of the harder rounds they've had to do. And Shiro, look where he is now. He's peeking Palace. From a B peak to a Palace peak, no way you expect that. Supra, the best timing known to man. What a double spray. Rawls will try 2 of his own. Man advantage still maintained for GAMBIT youngsters. The positioning from Bird from Sky is really nice, though. This can go any way, in my opinion, Scriv.
Yeah, they do have some good spots here and quasi control of the A-bomb site. So, looking good in that sense. I like this from Bird from Sky as well, trying to be proactive, trying to find a frag. Axile on the other side. Oh, spots him out. Maybe jumps the gun a bit too quickly, but Inters is there to clean things up. And now the 1v3 required. Nades flying into the A-bomb site, chunking him out, denying areas for him to move to. And ultimately narrowing down where this final player is. 1v3 knows there's got to be someone coming on the flank, right? Because Supra was aggressive in ramp, aggressive in Palace, and now moves around back to Palace, finds his third frag, ends the round as he began it, and ends the game alongside it. 16-11, LYNGBY Vikings certainly fighting well on Mirage, it has to be said. But ultimately, no match. It will be